Alright, so I get my stuff from several different places, but these things can be had by different vendors. I'd usually try to stick to one vendor if I can. Wally's Lights is where I got these here. These are a pixel tester, 12 volt with a wireless remote. You don't have to be right in front of it. It's not a RF, I think, remote, but it's wireless. These things work pretty good. They're kind of cheap. How long they last, I don't know, but I got a bunch of these from Wally's Lights. It's a pixel tester. I get them with Raywu connections already on them. Here's one, what it looks like. Here's the connector. They come with different type connectors on them, so you have to make sure that all the connectors match. But it's got your power connector on one end, your little micro wireless controller, and the connection for the end for your pixels to go on. Like I said, these are about $7, $8, something like that. You can probably get them cheaper on Alibaba or whatever, but like I said, for exchange purposes, if I get a bad one or something, I try to go to the same vendor. The pixels, you have to get, you know, everything has to match voltage. Pixels come in 5, 12 volt, whatnot. Most everything I use is 12 volt. You could get these strings in a string of 5, 9, I think they come in 25, 50, and each one are individually addressable. They act as their own light. And you can get these little wall outlets, 12 volt, and I think they're 1 or 2 amps, something like that. Most of what I get is 1 amp because they're really cheap and I only use a small amount of pixels. These little controllers can control, like, I don't know, 700 pixels or something like that. The controllers are a little complicated to, you just have to read the instructions. Here's another type of pixel that I was thinking of using on my skeleton. I got these online at AliExpress or whatever that app is, Alibaba, AliExpress. I bought these from China. Took a little while to get them, but I got them. These are pretty bright. Each one of these is considered a pixel, I believe. So we got the 12 volt plug-in, the controller, the little controller, $7. These little wall warts, I think I bought 4 of them for like $16 or something, 4 or 6, I don't remember, but they were fairly cheap. Wally's Lights has these at one time, I think he still does. It's got the controllers, it's got the pixels. Just make sure when you get the controller and the pixels, the voltage matches up and the plug-ins match up. Otherwise, you're going to have to be doing some splicing on the wires to match everything up. So when I did my skelly, what I used a 5 pixel, they call it a 5 pixel P-stake light, and it's got long pigtails on it with 5 pixels on it. And I turned my skelly upside down, and what I did was I went inside and hot glued evenly the 5 pixels, 2 on each side of the chest on the top plate and 1 right in the center. And then I just ran the wiring back up and around this groove at the top of the neck. And when you come out that groove, I just run it in the crack of the neck and put a little hot glue in there to keep the wire in there. So both wires are centered out on the back. And then you can just run this controller and the wiring and stuff down the center of the back, or however you want to do it. It's pretty simple. These little ones here, so all these are directional. Even the pixels are directional. Do a little research and you'll discover which way the power and the data flow through these things. Most of them have an arrow or something on them. This one has an arrow, so your controller would be to the right of the arrow and all the power and data would flow to the left. And so there's an in and an out. So here's my in for my 5 pixels. Here's my out. So I could actually run the out up towards the head and put some more pixels around the head. They make tees for these things, so you could actually tee off and go down the arms or whatever configuration you could come up with. There's a lot of people in the pixel industry that could help with any questions, but most of the stuff is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. As long as you don't get into programming and all that, you can just use these little pixel testers. They do a lot of pixels if you got the little power supply. This, I think I've run 400 pixels off of one of these. Not real bright. I would probably go with something a little bigger if you plan on doing a lot of these pixels. But for the skelly and what little lights I'm going to use, I think this small wall wart will do. The remote has a lot of different functions on it. You can control the brightness, you can control the color, you can control the pattern. You can find a pattern. There's like, I don't know, 300-400 different patterns in this thing. Most of them look the same, but there are some different color patterns or some different flashing patterns. You've got a speed on here, so you can control the flashing speed from, you know, like a strobe down to just a heartbeat or something. So just something kind of cool. Different people sell, you can find them different places. But like I said, I got all mine at Wally's Lights, and the ribs make a great place to wire these things. So even these here will actually fit down in these rib grooves really well. You can hide the wires and they'll shine back up on the back of the inside of your skelly. So I thought that was pretty cool. I like the look of it. If you have any questions, you know, leave a message. We'll figure it out.